We want to be portrayed as contributing members of society, even though we may not be earning money as a wage as such. We are still have that wisdom, that knowledge, all of the skills. We want to be part of society.
My name is Vincent Peters. I'm 71 years old. I have an Aboriginal heritage, and in the community, the Mullam Mullam Indigenous Gathering Place, which I belong to, I am referred to as Uncle Vincent Peters. My contribution really is about what we do as a choir. Our choir has been going for just over 5 years. We've performed over 90 concerts. We just wanted to sit around and sing as a group of elders around a table. But the first time we knew we were doing more was when we went to the MCG for the Lighthouse Conference. A lot of the songs we sing are in language, and some are mixed with English as well. When we looked up, everybody was crying. There was an audience of around somewhere between 300 and 400 people, and we were surprised. The story, in combination with singing in a song, struck their hearts, and we knew that we were no longer just an ordinary choir. We were a reconciliation choir, and that's why we have a mixed group, because we represent modern Australia. We have many Indigenous nations and many from nations all around the world who sing with us. Yumna yala ola gui kuda mabila ma no mila ma gauguda ulawi
My name is Anne, and I'm 86, and I edit the Ferntree Gully News, a community paper, volunteer community paper for 10,000 households in Ferntree Gully. We've been doing this 10 years now, and it began as a response to the Black Saturday fires, and it continues to promote safety and care for the environment in Ferntree Gully. And my role I see as minding the house, taking care of the people and the place. People send emails, and one reader recently, having pointed out a mistake we made in something, said, "However, I love your paper. It is a nice slice of localness in our letterbox." Other people have said, "Thank you for your paper. We love it. You make us feel we live in a village." And it just takes 2 or 3 emails like this every now and then to keep me going. I'd say the reader response and the response of nearly 100 people who work on it has astonished me, and that's where my energy comes from. And I get to write an editorial once the whole thing's put together, which is a great privilege to be able to highlight things that we see as important in minding the house. People say to me, how do you get people to do things? And I say to them, share their lives. And so 10 years of working with all these community groups, we list about 30 in every issue of the paper. 10 years of doing that means Ferntree Gully is my life now. As long as I can keep going, I'll be very happy to do it.
I'm Eddie, and I am 74 years old, and I live in Knox City for over 41 years. Well, it all started when my wife and I joined the Knox walkers at Westfield Shopping Center. And then after having a cup, most of the girls or ladies of the Walkers Club will go shopping, whereas the men will just stand there waiting for their wives or their partners, looking bored and doing nothing. So I thought, hey, I have to do something about this. So from there, I rang my nephew, Rick Atacador, and he's a wannabe chess champion, back home in the Philippines. So I said to him, look, would you like to come over and let's play chess in one corner of Knox City? From there, I noticed the interest is starting to come by other people also watching. From our humble beginnings of having just 2 and 3 players, it grew from the regular players that I have now at Knox City is about 30, and even more during school holidays because of the school kids. Yeah, so every Thursday we start our game from 10:30 in the morning up to till about 5 o'clock. Occasionally we'll do overtime till about 6 or 7 o'clock. So now I have another branch of Knox Community Chess Enthusiasts playing at Rowville Library every Friday from 12:30 till 5:30 in the afternoon. The people that comes to chess are a different, it's an inclusive chess group. The age is also intergenerational. There's a lot of kids, particularly after school. So there are people from different ages and different multicultural background. So it's multicultural and it is also intergenerational. Because I have quite a number of players who are over the age of 70 and even over the age of 80. And some of them feel lonely and bored and sometimes isolated. And because of having this facility that we offer for them, the chess, they seem to have overcome some social isolation. And to my amazement, they are regularly there, enjoying the facility. Even some older people who seem to be very sick, but when they arrive there and play, they can stay up to 3 or 4 hours. Amazingly, it would appear that the pain to their joints has been erased completely.
My name is Berta Silva. I was born on the 20th of the 12th, 1923. But I must say I am positive, I'm positive thinking, and people ask me, what is your recipe? And I don't have it. My daughter, when she's next to me, she said she eats well, but I must say eating well is not everything. You have to have the right attitude in life. I take everyone as they are. And the greatest word is connection. You must connect with people. And that is very, very important. I play nearly every day. I love it. I'm not very good. It doesn't matter, but I know that when I look at a note, I must know what note it is. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I do half an hour, sometimes an hour. I just love it. There are 3 things that I find important, and that is I have my thinking, my feeling, and the will. And this is daily I use thinking, feeling, and will. And that's what I'm using. And that is my secret.
My name is Charles. I'm 82 years of age and 82 years and 3 days old.
I'm Karl. I'm 78 years old, and Charles and I have been together, been married for 59 years, but been together since I was 15.
Age is something I keep telling my daughter, I'll get old when I feel like it. And we're both on the move all the time. Karl's often said to me, he said, we saw more of one another when we were working than what we have since we retired. Because our interests keep us pretty well busy all the time.
We've worked together as part of the team. We're only a part of the team of the paper. There are 7 of us now, and it's really full on. We are flat out all the time.
We publish 21,000 copies bi-monthly, and it's circulated throughout Bayswater, Wanturna South, Scoresby and Knoxfield.
I think the paper is very important to the community because the demographics of the area is changing, and we want new people to know what has happened and what is happening. It's all good news. We don't have any bad news. We need to know what's happening in our community.
And we're all volunteers. No one gets paid. It's advertising keeps the paper published and distributed. So
I like to talk to people, and we get a lot of good stories. And that's really what I'm interested in, talking to the community, seeing what their needs are.
It's informative, they like reading it, and as Karl said, it's all good news. They like the content, and it's
about the community.
It's about the community interest.
I get so much reward from volunteering.
You look at live, AFL play 4 quarters of football at 25 minutes a quarter. Life's a football match, 25 years a quarter. We're both in the final quarter, but the coach is not going to pull us yet. We've got too much to do.
We get more back than we give.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Good feeling.
My name's Irene Kelly. I'll be 71 on October the 15th, so nearly ready to celebrate another birthday. I'm involved with the Knox Environment Society Indigenous Plant Nursery, and we partner Knox City Council in the Gardens for Wildlife program. Been going for 14 years, has nearly 900 participants. Residents are encouraged to plant some Indigenous plants in their garden, or non-weedy natives, or even non-weedy introduced plants that will attract the wildlife. It's been the most successful environmental program that Knox has ever run out, and has been a fantastic vehicle for educating people about the impact that environmental weeds have on the bushland. So if you did nothing else but didn't plant environmental weeds, you can really shape how our bushland is. So as a person involved in both the Knox Environment Society, or CARES, nursery and Gardens for Wildlife, I hope to encourage other people to be confident about standing up for conservation. And also, I hope to shape a community that I like to be a part of and values the things that I like to value. And at the same time, practically on the ground, to provide some way that we can connect the bushland reserves in Knox. And we can do that by just planting some of those species in our garden. It doesn't have to be totally indig. It can be all about just providing a little space for some butterfly habitat, small bird habitat, or so on. And that provides a stepping stone and eventually a corridor to our bushland. So at the same time as I'm hoping to influence people to have confidence in standing up for conservation, I also hope to give them the doable tools through Gardens for Wildlife to be able to do that. When Gardens for Wildlife first began, we were told by Nadine Gaskell at the council if we got 6 participant gardens in the first year, it would be a success. Well, we rolled the program out at the Stringybark Festival, and we got 100 registrations, and we were just gobsmacked. We wanted it to be a success, but how did we manage it? And we have to, I must say that we're all people who are glass half full people. Instead of thinking, oh my God, we can't do this, we just looked at ways of being able to manage it.
My name's Gary Cowell. I'm 60 years old. Since I retired, I joined Ferntree Gully Bowls Club. Charles here was my first skip and taught me how to bowl. I really like taking some of the older guys, or guys by themselves, or guys whose families work. I like taking them out to their medical appointments and taking notes for the families. And I do realise, because if you have families, you can't always get time off work to go and help, or for yourself to go to the doctors, but it helps other families if I do it, and they're very appreciative of it.
I greatly appreciate that, because there's not many you find that like Gary here. He's a special. is an asset.
I've spoken to school groups or schools in Tasmania and Melbourne around disability and coping with disability when you have an accident and you've got to rise from however your new life is. It's a changed life sometimes. It feels good. It makes people happy. So it makes me happy. I've always helped people anyway, but now I have the time to do it. I see myself, now I've all settled into retirement, is to move forward and find some organisations where I can actually do it more formally.
My name is Joan Aspinall. I am 83 years old and I am here for the Knox Seniors, which I'm a member of on committee. And I also show dogs, Pekingese, and I walk them every day. Walking your dog and being in your garden helps to keep you physically healthy, but most of all mentally healthy, and keep your mind clear and active by going out and doing things as you age. That's why I say anybody that's aging, to have a pet is a great thing. Company, comfort, happiness, sometimes chaos, but most of all they bring the most overwhelming, unconditional love. That's what they bring.
So I'm Marilyn Crosley and I'm 65 years of age.
I'm Bronwyn Thomas. I'm 63 years old.
The weaving for me started on Father's Day this year after I lost my dad, and I thought, I wonder if I could actually start weaving. And as I was weaving it, I was sort of reminiscing about how we used to go sailing and how much love we had and shared. For me, it's weaving for grieving, helping you to gain closure or just delve into your own feelings as you're releasing them and going through. To me, it was quite therapeutic.
My husband died 10 years ago, and in cleaning out his wardrobe, that was as you can imagine, a very emotional experience. And I thought, some shirts here that were his favourite, I just couldn't throw out. You know, the memories associated with the shirt and him were just so intertwined. And I suddenly thought, buttons down the front, I can make a cushion. This is one of my favourites. Sits on my bed and I cuddle and feel close to him. I felt for me it was a very important thing. I wasn't throwing out everything.
And the healing that comes just by talking about your everyday experiences is very helpful for the whole community.
So my name is Linda Black. I'm 70 years of age and I'm really committed to helping shift the perception of what it means to age really well. And in particular, with the baby boomers coming through in droves, I think it's really important that we have a much better, more positive perspective of what it means to age well for ourselves and for our families and also for the community at large. I just think it's really important to change the negative and dispiriting perspectives that people generally have about aging. My particular focus is on emotional well-being and a positive mindset, and my background as a hypnotherapist is what contributes to that, and research that I've done about the aspects of maintaining emotional well-being so we can thrive, not just survive our way to the very end. And so I think my desire is to see more and more people thriving, enjoying their lives, making a contribution in their own way, whatever their skill base is, whatever their interests and values are, so that we form a significant and meaningful part of society, not just, put out to pasture to some degree. And I think we've got tremendous contributions still to make. And I think it's high time that we realised it for ourselves and that we stood our ground and made it clear that it's time we were respected and appreciated for what we can do, not all the things they think we can't do.
My message to anyone in society is to listen to people. No matter what their age is, ask them about themselves. Become engaged with other people and enjoy their expertise, enjoy their skills. Everyone would like to be contributing in their own way. I think it's important that we don't marginalise or dismiss anyone due to age. To live well, you can do that in so many ways, whether it's with your chess, with your painting, with music, with singing, with swimming, with anything. So long as it works for you and you have that goal of living well. What we all need to realise as older people living in Knox, that we are worthwhile, that we are contributing, that there is definitely a place for us within Knox's demographics, and that we need to continue to contribute and continue to be proud of who we are and what we do, because we are the wisdom people. We are the ones who have the skills, the knowledge and the willingness to be able to connect with all stages of the people within Knox.